Job well done as always by Ward Hart. Sporting the Eric Lindros jersey on this night. Flyers trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. The Wild trying to prolong a 3-game winning streak.
Let's take a look at our Kia starting goaltenders. Darcy Kemper back in goal for the Minnesota Wild. He's a 6'5" netminder that is very good at making that initial save. You need to get rebound opportunities to try to beat Kemper. The Wild don't give up a lot of shots. And for the Philadelphia Flyers, Ray Emery back in goal, looking to get to win number 5 on the early part of this season. Back-to-back games. Steve Mason outstanding last night. Emery comes in and tries to find a way to get a win here against the Wild.
Kemper shutouts in his first 2 games this year and in 3 of his first 4 games. Only the second goalie since the original 6 era began back in the early 40s to have 3 shutouts in his first 4 games of the season. So he can be very good. Flyers and to recover after losing in New York last night. Wild have not played since winning in overtime Sunday against Winnipeg. Flyers in their orange jerseys, dumping the puck in on Kemper. Now Jared Spurgeon, the diminutive defenseman for the Wild, sending it off the skate through center ice. Braden Coburn over to get to it. Flyer combinations at the top of your screen. As Nick Schultz is back to get the puck. Notice the name McDonald. On the blue line for the Flyers. Andrew McDonald makes his return from his lower body injury. But Michael Lozano is now out with a lower body injury. Effort in the game last night. They get one back, you lose one. There is Coburn with the puck ahead, looking for Schultz. Instead, finds Nate Prosser, who moves the puck ahead. And Fontaine will send one wide of Ray Emery. And now it's Coburn up the wall. Out it to Jake Voracek, who had his 10-game point streak come to an end last night, although he had 6 scoring chances. So he certainly was still playing well. Giroux back in the lineup again here. Got that puck to Voracek. Trying to drop it back to Giroux. Giroux battles with Prosser, knocks Prosser down, and works the puck free to Voracek. Spinning out in front, saved by Kemper. Schenn works the puck free. Braden Schenn trying to get that to Streit. It's tipped away, and now racing after the puck is Streit, and he's able to sweep it away from Justin Fontaine to prevent a potential breakaway. And now Grossman will drop it back. Both teams making player changes as we hit 90 seconds into this one. Grossman ahead off the stick. R.J. Umberger now picked up by Scott Lotnew. It's his 2nd game of the season with the Flyers as he played last night. Flex back out to center. McDonald winds it back in. Umberger after it. And a battle for the puck. Run back around by Jason Zucker. And now here's Spurgeon. Cross ice. By Charlie Coyle. Coyle trying to feather that pass through. Coyle playing center here for the Wild as they've made some changes with their lines. Basically trying to get Thomas Vanek going, one of their big acquisitions in the offseason with but 1 goal so far this year.
Vanek hasn't moved his feet all year. And if you're not skating in this league, you're not going to create offense. There's some action with Ronaldo taking down a Minnesota Wild defender.
Yeah, Keith Ballard. Ballard ends up without his helmet. Play carries on. Here's Ronaldo accepting the pass from Vandevelde after he was hammered on a check by Ryan Carter. The puck deflects in on Kemper. Swatted to the boards. Vandevelde back up. Will send it around behind the net. And there's Ballard without the helmet. Clearing the zone. Icing will be the call against Minnesota.
Good hungry effort there from Zach Ronaldo. Some unhappy people after the game last night in New York. The Flyers' effort wasn't where it needed to be, and Ronaldo gets out here and aggressively takes down Ballard. Shocking there wasn't a penalty on the play.
This is actually Voracek here on this last shift too. Jonesy right before it, good play down low, and the Flyers, you could tell even before that the Ronaldo play, excellent play by Philadelphia. Very physical in the Minnesota zone. That was an area that was not there last night. They want to make sure that's a better compete tonight in the offensive zone.
Slan Bear, Dave Jackson, the referees tonight. It appears as though they're going to let him play.
Caught up in the Lindros-Leclerc night, I guess. We're going old school here tonight.
The players will adjust to what they see, so if they start by letting them play, they need to continue it that way. There's Streit sending it along. Up but not out. Marco Scandella. And now here's Giroux. Oh, Giroux trying to get away from Scandella, but his pass hopped over the stick of Voracek. Gathered by Matt Dumba, the 20-year-old defenseman who moves it to the line, and finally it is muscled out to center by Eric Howla. Flyers get it back. Schenn ahead, misses Giroux with that pass. Kepler got a piece of it to the corner board. Giroux is after it there, but Dumba and Semidis pass deflects to Voracek. Voracek for Giroux. Giroux could not come up with it cleanly. Now try to get it back to strike, intercepted. Out to center ice goes Zach Parisi. Parisi with a shot and a save for Emery. The first shot on goal for the Wild, almost 3.5 minutes into the game. That's saying something because the Wild are among the leaders in shots per game, second in the league. And they also allow the fewest amount of shots in the NHL per game. So obviously the Wild have been doing very well in terms of spending a lot of time in the offensive zone. A shot toward the net, deflected away. Parisi's after it. He's got it his second game back after suffering a concussion. Stripped of the puck. Flyers move back with it. Nick Schultz, the longtime Minnesota Wild performer, off to Simmons. Simmons with a shot. St. Kemper, the rebound is right out in front, but Reed did not get to it because Mikko Koivu, the captain of the Wild, stepped in between. Sends it in on Emery. Wild will change. Sean Couturier starts up. Simmons and back to Couturier. Weaving his way to the Minnesota line, chipping it in, and he'll chase. Here's Nate Frost. Bounces to the other corner. Reed is there. At Reed trying to reverse it, but that one cut off. And Kyle Granlund will start back for the Wild. Right wing feed for Scandella. Scandella, the defenseman, up on the rush, turns with it, fires it, goes off a skate. Now McDonald there, but his pass intercepted. Goes back out to Scandella. Little wrist shot deflects and goes into the safety netting. Play is stopped. McDonald pushing and shoving with Niederreiter.
Former teammate, the New York Islanders, coming together there in the puck battle. You can see why the Wild get as many shots on net as they do. They like to fire pucks quickly towards the net. McDonald, one of the better shot blocking defensemen in the league, and Flyers happy to have him back in the lineup.
Here are the scratches from the respective lineups. Matt Cook out with an injury. Jonas Brodin battling the mumps. One of 4 Wild players that had to deal with the mumps. He remains out. The Flyers, as we told you, Delzato out with a lower body injury. McDonald is in. R.J. Umberger starts back. Right wing feed for LeCavalier. This is a line that Flyers are trying to get going. Umberger getting it back out. Luke Schenn back in the lineup as well. Want to forget Luke back in the fray as he returns from his upper body injury. He was more of a game-time decision than Andrew McDonald, and you see that he is indeed out there.
Flyers missed him in penalty kill situations. One of the better penalty killing defensemen on this Flyers unit.
Boyle could not control that puck. It dribbles in on Emery, and he will take the whistle.
Craig Berube looking to play Scott Laughton a little more in this game. He is playing with Umberger and LeCavalier, trying to get those two players to elevate their play.
One of the things, too, Jonesy, I talked to both Ron Hextall and Berube before the game. The one thing that they said, they will not tolerate his effort. There was no effort last night in a lot of parts of those hockey games. You can have a bad game. Teams are going to have a bad game through 82, but they want to see the effort level ramped up. That is certainly something that's not acceptable.
Several reports indicating that Ron Hextall let the team know. There's a shot by Ryan Suter that goes wide. And Nick Schultz will clear it up, but not out. Suter keeps it in. The shot, though, deflected and goes out of play. Late confrontation there between Coburn and Parisi.
And Ron Hextall, he did confirm that. He said he went in to walk back to the coach's office last night, and he said he saw some guys getting, they're in their undergear, getting dressed and stuff, and he just lost it. I mean, he was a heated guy, passionate guy as a player, and not afraid to express emotion. I said, was it staged? He goes, no, it was genuine last night. I was bitter and I was angry.
We've all seen Ron Hextall with genuine anger in his days as a player.
Chris and I both saw it in the room.
Oh, yeah.
He's honest, though, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
The message gets across when you're honest.
Wayne Simmons, who has the puck right now, saying, hey, that gives you an idea. We really had to play very poorly for Hexy to get that upset. And they've come out here so far through the first 6 minutes of this one with plenty of energy. Tough team to get a lot going against. Flyers have outshot the Wild 4-2 here in the early going. Nick Schultz back, still the all-time games played leader for the Wild. In fact, by a healthy margin over Mikko Koivu, well over 100 games more. And Suter back could not clear. The puck sits at the line, kept in by, they say it was out. I thought it was right along the line, but they say it came out, so offside is the call. No score early on. No score. Wells Fargo Center, and tonight the Biggie is honored into the Hall of Fame as a Flyer. You see fences mended. Eric Lindros now part of the orange and black. Obviously didn't end well between Eric and the organization, but think the Winter Classic, they got past that as he was part of that alumni experience. Now he participates in a lot of the events.
It's a great thing when you arrive to a hockey team and a player like Zach Rinaldo, who grew up, idolizing the Big E, has a chance to see him tonight. He's around the rink. For myself, it was Bobby Clark and Reggie Leach and Bill Barber, and to get over here to the organization and see those guys and mingle with them really is uplifting, and it's great to see that Big E's back in the mix.
And icing the call here against Minnesota, so face-off back into Wild zone. Rinaldo trying to give his team a spark early on with some physical play. There's the fourth-year head coach, still only 41 years of age and doing a heck of a job here and getting some pieces. Boy, they've gone out, signed some big free agents, and also have a good young core.
They're fast, and they do a nice job of playing to their strengths. The Flyers have to be very good at getting shots through from the point and then looking for those rebound chances. They don't give you a lot, and they win a lot of puck battles, so you've got to be ready to bring your work ethic to this game, and especially down low in the defensive zone to do a lot of cycle plays and generate offense.
Similar to the Flyers, though, their problem has been on the road. They've been a dominant team at home, only one loss, the XL Energy Center, but on the road, not as impressive. 3-6, especially power play on the road. They still don't have a power play goal away from home. Flyers getting control here. Strike playing his 100th game as a Flyer. Hasn't missed a single one. The orange and black, and in fact has an overall consecutive game streak of over 200 games. Here's Giroux with a shot that's deflected out of play. Wild very good at getting in the way of shots.
We'll see a lot of those. Santa Sacks, the Ultimate Flyers gift packs, are on sale now. Packages include 2 tickets, an autographed puck, a Flyers calendar, 2 hot dogs, sodas, popcorn, and more. Starting at $150. Shop online at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com.
Drop to the right of 44-year-old Darcy Kemper. Goaltending spot for the Wild last year. Bit of a carousel. 5 different players, including old friend Ilya Brizgalov, between the pipes for them, and hoping for a little more stability. Kemper trying to give them that, as he wasn't signed until really close to the start of the regular season, signed to an extension. Icing the call again.
Josh Harding down in the minors now, cleared waivers after breaking his foot in training camp. He was suspended because he was, I think, goofing around or in some type of altercation with one of the players on his own team, and has cleared waivers and been sent down.
Of course, he's battling with MS, which took him out of play last year when he was leading the NHL in save percentage. And then, unfortunately, breaks his foot when he's trying to settle in as the starter this year. As you mentioned, there's a shot by Umberger that deflects, goes wide, and then actually catches the safety netting off of glass. A lot of whistles here early on in this one.
A couple more block shots here again as Umberger tried to get that puck through from a shooting area, and the Wild continue to stay in the lanes. Kemper will be able to look around the Flyer forwards that get in front of him at his height. He's staring down at a lot of guys in the National Hockey League. Big, tall goaltender that's pretty athletic as well.
Wild gain control, and Vanek will flutter one to the Philadelphia line. Charlie Coyle, BU catching up to that. Moves it around. There's Vanek centering. That was off a stick. That was Luke Schen's stick back out to the point. Veteran defenseman Ballard down low. Coyle momentarily unchecked, but now gets it back out. Down by the young defenseman. Go behind the net. They're trying to set it. That one banks back out. There's Dumba. Lost it out to center ice. So it would have been offside. The Wild have to clear the zone. Flyers need to go get the puck and move up. Wild have retouched, so back in play here. McDonald goes back to Schenn. And the pass in the middle. Handling well as Bellemare through center. Off of the right wing, Rinaldo. Rinaldo, the wrist shot. Saved by Kemper. And now a counter rush opportunity for Minnesota. Vanek with the puck. Gains the line, holds, and then deals. And the shot stopped by Emery, but there will be a penalty. Parisi was hooked. And so the first penalty of the game belongs to Philadelphia. The first power play to the Wild.
Well, some penalties are good penalties, and on a rush on a shot at one end in Minnesota in transition, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare ends up getting a good one in here on Zach Parise. A quick play because Parise, a goal scorer in tight, and that would have been a difficult save right there. Good penalty.
Parise was looking back door to the Wild, had another forward heading towards the net and would have had a tap in there. So the Flyers will try to kill this one off. PK has been a problem.
2 struggling units right here. One of them hoping to get better at the other's expense. Ryan Suter. Deal to Koivu, the captain. Sizing it up, takes the shot. Emery holding his ground as Parisi tried to deflect that. Centering pass, left that by Reed. He got it to Couturier. He moves up slowly, waits as long as he can, and then flips it into the Minnesota zone. 28th ranked power play against the 30th ranked penalty kill. Wild 0 for 30 on the road this year on the power play. The Flyers have given up 7 power plays against in their last 11 man down situations. So, yes, units trying to find themselves a little bit. A lot of it, in fact. Spurgeon to Suter for a shot deflected. Got knocked out in front by Shen. Grossman a chance to clear, and on the backhand, he's able to get it down the ice.
Double deflection in front there. Pominville, the original, and then Parise is always sniffing in around that crease area. Luke Shen did a nice job in finding that puck.
The rider in. He's been hot. 4 goals in his last 3 games. Back out to Suter. Cross ice it goes Spurgeon. And now Suter, the ice time leader in the NHL once again, to Niederreiter. Niederreiter centers, redirection, save, Emery! Vanek, who has scored a lot of power play goals in his career, denied right there by the veteran goaltender of the Flyers.
Terrific hands on Vanek, and that's why the Minnesota Wild went out and got him. He's in his office right here. You'll see him in front of the net, in front of Ray Emery there, 26 in white, and he'll set up like a tripod there and tip it through on Emery.
Yeah, right in the middle of it, Jonesy. You're right, just getting the redirection. It's the only play he had. Good save by Emery.
Over the last 8 seasons, 3rd in the NHL in power play goals was Thomas Vanek. Reed hoisting one out towards center off the stick of Scandella. Under 37 seconds remaining in the Minnesota power play. And Scandella starts back. Penetrate the zone, but they're offside as they do so. So the whistle stops play. Check out the CSN Philly mobile app. Get breaking news and analysis from our insiders, plus videos, scores, schedules, and more. Visit csnphilly.com/app and download today. Face off out in center ice. Couturier and Koivu. The all-time leader in points for this Wild franchise. He's one of those guys who makes the players around him better.
And when he's on, he's a very dangerous player in the offensive zone. He goes through some stretches where the offensive part of his game kind of slides away and has had some injury issues, but he can be an outstanding down-low offensive threat.
Puck bounces back to the corner off of something and then back out to Suter. Was it the referee it hit? Now Spurgeon gets to Parisi. Out it goes to Suter. The power play over. The shot is blocked. Reed trying to get it ahead. And there's Bellemare out of the box. As he moves up with Giroux. Giroux to Bellemare, but that pass failed to connect. Bellemare trying to work his way through a couple of Wild players, and he does. On the boards, collides with Giroux, and then is checked by Parisi as the puck squirts free behind the net. Spurgeon stripped by Braden Shen. Shen got it back to Streit with room. He'll wind. He'll fire. Deflection wide. Shen gets to the loose puck and turns with it. Finds a cutting Streit, who waits, holds. Back to Shen. Shot blocked. He had an empty net to fire it at, but it hit a Wild player, a couple of Wild players right there in the slot area.
Zach Parise blocked that one, and the Wild bring their forwards down low, trying to get in the way of the shot.
Shen dropping that one off. Giroux to Voracek for the shot, and the save by Kepper. Now it's Voracek down low, hoping for Giroux. Getting there first was Coyle. Andrew McDonald over, stuffs it around behind the net, flagged down by Voracek. Voracek to the backhand, centering for Giroux, but he was in tight quarters. Giroux sent flying into the boards by Scandella, but Voracek there to recover. Got it back out to Streit. Streit holding on, fakes the shot, then takes it. Save made by Kepper through the screen of Giroux. Bounces back out, and the Wild able to clear, and they do sweep it into the Philadelphia zone. McDonald goes back with a couple of Wild players coming at him, and Conley flips it to Shen, and now the Flyers move back. Here's Voracek roaring through center. Voracek into the center for Lawton as the Flyers are in the middle of a change. Puck bounces to this side of the ice. Umberger fanning on that attempt, and the other way go the Wild. Zucker will send it in. Fontaine jams it around behind the net. 7:40 remaining in a scoreless first period. Flyers have outshot the Wild 7-4. Ryan Carter sends it to the other side of the ice. Sent ahead, it deflects into the middle. And the Wild have it back. Here's Fontaine. Fontaine checked from behind. Got Lawton Works well defensively. Got it back out though. Dumba rolls it in for Fontaine. Trying to get away from Grossman. Fontaine. It off. Howell will chip it back behind the cage. Ryan Carter trying to center. It was stopped at the side of the net. But still loose apparently. And finally Emery able to find it. And he covers up. 7:06 remaining. First period. Still waiting for a first goal. Jake Voracek coming off of another strong shift moments ago as he continues to be right at the top of the National Hockey League scoreboard. As he has points in all the games for the Flyers except their 2 shutouts. Tied with Sidney Crosby, 26 points apiece, 24 for Tyler Seguin. Crosby and the Penguins are off tonight. Seguin has not yet started his game for the Stars, so Voracek still a chance to jump into the lead, and his points through 17 games, still the most for a Flyer since Peter Forsberg had 33 and Simon Gagne 27 back in the first year out after the lockout back in 05.
Voracek, one of the few Flyers that had jumped last night against the Rangers, had plenty of opportunities and did a good job of forcing the issue in the offensive zone.
Greg Ruby basically saying the top line and Steve Mason. And I think you threw Scott Lawton in there as well as guys who thought had the necessary jump, but everybody else has to step it up. Here's Coyle, right to center, blocked off by Nick Schultz, who then plays it up into the crowd. That's a penalty, as it did not deflect. The puck was bouncing and went clean into the crowd, and so the Flyers will be shorthanded.
Rare mistake there by Nick Schultz, who has played extremely well with Michael Del Zotto. Del Zotto not available in this one, so Schultz will try to help Braden Coburn's game. He made a good defensive play to get the puck first, and the wobbling puck elevated enough to get up and over the glass.
A little while we'll get their second power play, and we will look at our Jeep trivia question of the game. Who holds the Wild franchise record? Most career games played. And if you get this one wrong, shame on you, because I already gave the answer out earlier.
You did.
I didn't give a spoiler alert either.
Jimmy Dowd was there though too, that's right.
Indeed he was. Played with quite a few teams.
Yes he did.
Respect to the national. Good guy, man. He enjoyed playing in Minnesota. Right off the draw, shot is blocked, and the Wild get control as Pominville got it back out to Suter. Now it's Pominville again. And along the line to Suter, and he'll flip it along for Spurgeon back across. And Pominville could not handle that pass, as had a lot on it. Drew calmly moves out and shovels one toward Kemper, who dropped it. Didn't realize it was off to his left, but no Flyers around. Here is Suter. Commonly plays over 30 minutes a game. Pominville to Spurgeon. Down behind the Philadelphia net, there is Coburn backhanding. Got it as far as Umberger, but the Wild able to get it back, and here's Spurgeon. Winds his pass, tipped away by Umberger. Good read there. Now he'll turn with it and clear. Went off of Reed and down the ice.
Couple good plays there by R.J. Umberger. Got his stick back in the passing lane and then was quick to retrieve that puck and make sure he got enough on it to get it past the Wild defenseman.
Moving up Vanek for the shot. Emery the save. Back out it goes to Suter. Roll it deep, and the Wild look to get set up again with 52 seconds remaining in the man advantage. Vanek and Ronaldo pursue the puck. 4 players scrum for it. 6 now. Grossman knocks a man down. Puck winds up on the stick with Chris Vandevelde, who turns with it. And he will clear it all the way down.
There's an edge to the Flyers in this game. And they've got that physical mentality of winning the puck battles. That's how you kill penalties, too. They win the battle in the corner, and they eventually get it down the ice.
Granlund will wind it around behind the net of Emery. Now Niederreiter goes to work. And the puck cleared out of the zone. Those are the battles that the Flyers had not been winning in the penalty kill. They're winning them here tonight so far.
Yeah, they didn't have to win that one. Vanek just made a bad pass.
Yeah, they forced him to make the bad pass outside.
We'll go with that.
That's what they're going to tell the coaches when they get back to the bench, right?
What's he going to tell his coach, though? Sorry?
Wild after the puck. Here's Coyle. Worked on and, in fact, dumped again. Physical play by Streit and the Flyers. Braden Shen will move it up. Cross for Schultz, and into the Minnesota zone it goes. So the Flyers have killed off 2 in a row. And now Voracek trying to stuff that one into the backhand, but Kemper met him. Now Giroux with a shot. Save. Kemper all the way out to Streit. He'll fake the shot, then take it. And it went outside the net. The mesh move. The light, I think, even flickered. The crowd, some of them thought it was in. But it went on the outside of the net and stayed out.
Kemper felt like it was in, too. He had that reaction.
Here's Giroux dangling the pass. Back to Giroux. That's blocked in front. Voracek behind the net, sealed off by Ballard. And now the Wild will move it ahead. Prosser got it to Zucker and then back to Ballard. Flyers are changing here with less than 4 minutes remaining in this first period. It's moved ahead by Vanek. Thanks to the line. Lawton pushes it ahead for LeCavalier. He chips it back for Lawton, but he could not get there as Prosser was standing right there. But now he recovers, and the rookie winds it deep into the Minnesota zone. And then goes after the puck along the wall. Lawton got it to LeCavalier. LeCavalier back to Lawton. Wrap around, and he is stopped. Now he gets it back in the circle for a shot that's blocked. And Scott Lawton trying to make his presence felt in his 7th National Hockey League game. LeCavalier got the puck to Lawton. Lawton moving on up. Around behind, centered it, loose puck, and it's jammed back out to Coburn. Coburn holding on to the puck. Gets to Lawton, he'll backhand it back behind the net, and there's LeCavalier spinning out for an angle shot. Saved by Kemper. And now it's back out. Flyers keep it in. Good pressure here. Schultz to LeCavalier. Fluttering one. Turning with it. Lawton for a shot. Save. Kemper, who was without his stick, but able to stay with it and make the save. And then Umberger, the gloves go off in front. And we've got ourselves a fight. Although the linesmen are trying to break it up. Carter goes down. Back to tell you about it after this.
R.J. Umberger and Keith Ballard head to the penalty box. A couple of minutes apiece, and the Flyers generating some good offensive opportunities here in the first period. They've had 11 shots on goal, some wraparound attempts, including that one by Voracek, the shot from the point by Giroux that got through the traffic, and Streit sends this one right off the post there and out past Kemper out the other side.
A great effort here. You're right. Much more intensity by Philadelphia, a lot more edge to their game, and that's why they're dominating the shot department. The effort and the penalty kill has been tremendous. Different team than the one we saw up at the Garden last night.
So they will now drop the puck to the left of Darcy Kemper. And gain control as we get to four-side hockey with Howard Umberger sitting out. The Wild gain control. Zach Parise starts back. Flips it to the Philadelphia zone. Over and back for it. Page the forechecking pressure. Starts the Flyers back. 2.5 minutes remaining in this first period. Couturier. Gets it back to Coburn. Rink wide feed is knocked down. Spurgeon looking to spring Koivu, but it's knocked down. And here is Reed. Reed in the slot. Couturier the shot. Blocked off by Spurgeon. Back. Reed to Grossman, who fires one wide. Now Koivu. And it clear. Could not. He passed the pinching strike. Couturier controlling and then knocked down from behind by Suter. Reed tried to center there. Strike the backhander kick. Saved by Kemper. Big stop there as Streit in from the point. Wide open. Spurgeon now holding on as both teams make player changes. 55 seconds remaining. Voracek steals to Giroux. Giroux the shot. Blocked. Looks for it again. Another shot. Save. Kemper's lost his stick again. Voracek center shot. McDonald save. Kemper again without his stick. And he was able to make the save and keep the Flyers off the board. And now a 2-on-1 the other way. Here's Pominville. Pominville holding on. Waits. Cross ice pass. Eludes Granlund. McDonald tried to move it out to center. Now he'll go across to Streit. Now Giroux ahead again. McDonald in. And he coughed up the puck. It's been a while for Andrew McDonald, so you can expect some of that. Hands aren't quite going to be there as yet. Coyle moving in. Angle shot. Save Emery. Suter charges to the puck. Around behind the net. Voracek right out in front of his own net. Knocked down by Suter, but did get the puck to Giroux, who's now waiting for player changes as he circles back and then drops the puck further back into the Philadelphia zone. 47 seconds, all that remains to this first period. Schultz off the stick of Giroux and into the Minnesota zone. Suter is back for it. He'll hammer it off the glass right back to center. 14 shots on goal for the Flyers here in the first. Against a team that usually outscores its opponents in a big way in the first period and outshoots them as well. There's Schenn. His check was back to Schultz. His glove on the ice, the puck rolling around. Simmons after it. Simmons on the boards. Tied up. 14 seconds in the period. Schenn toppled to the ice. The Wild try to move back. Their pass tipped. And now it's chipped up and out to center ice. Play back in by Scott Lawton as time runs out on period number 1. 14-6, the shots advantage for the Flyers, but Kemper made all 14 saves. Emery stopped the 6, fired his way. No score after 1. Now scored like 19-7 and losing 3 in a row, and in Toronto, that doesn't usually work.
No, the head coach, they want Randy Carlyle's head on a platter there, and he's managing to continue to stay as the head coach of the Maple Leafs, and he should. A terrific coach. And Richard Panik scores the goal against his old team.
As Eric Lindros said in our chat with him, Toronto, it's all about hockey. Hockey, hockey, hockey.
Yeah, it is.
A little conversation here after the opening face-off, and it's possible they're going to call a penalty here on Mikko Koivu for using his glove to move the puck. Let's see.
You don't see it often on the opening face-off there. He does push it with his hand. And the referee and linesman having a conversation about it. Mikko Koivu over there to plead his case, and that usually means you're going in the box.
Yeah, usually you see these in the offensive zone for the most part, or a defensive zone if a guy's trying to win the drawback. Very rare to see this in the first 3 seconds of the period at center ice. So, you know what? It's the right call. Koivu clearly used the glove.
Well,
yeah, I mean, him and
the call hasn't been
they're
made
huddling
yet.
right now. They're looking at it, but
Dave Jackson has called them all over to talk about this now. So something that was said has at least made some kind of impact, and so they are discussing it. Seemed pretty clear from here, but let's see what the call is.
2 guys still pleading here. We'll get the call here on the ice.
It's a penalty.
Yep.
Penalty to Minnesota. Playing the puck with the hand before the stick had touched the puck.
And it's good to see that the officials can all get together, though, and discuss it, just to make sure the call is the right one. And you can see Koivu here takes his bottom hand off the stick there and pushes the puck with his hand.
I think the question was whether or not it hit his stick first. If that had happened, they would have allowed it.
Yeah, the clock goes back to 20 minutes as well here, unless they made a mistake, guys. And they're checking it. But nonetheless, the Flyers are going to have 2 minutes of power play time on a clean sheet of ice. So this is an important call here for the Flyers to come out here and execute this power play to try to take the lead on this team.
All right, so they drop the puck to the right of Kemper. Katie Nelson hoping the Flyers can continue their red-hot power play at home as they win the draw. Right to Voracek. Back to Streit. He'll deal to Giroux. Right back to Streit at the point. And now Voracek trying to go across. His tip does make its way to the captain. And he'll spin away and then go back to Voracek, whose pass for Simmons was tipped away. Back to Schenn for a shot, and a rocket takes off and catches the safety netting. It deflected perhaps off of the helmet. As face-off is going to stay in the Minnesota zone.
Flyers zipping that puck around. Giroux and Streit play catch with Voracek. Minnesota has their stick in the passing lane on a couple of those plays, and then Brayden Schenn is going to slide out in that Scott Hartnell position to fire a quick shot that went up and over the glass.
Spurgeon will clear this one all the way down. Here are the numbers of these 2 units, which are much better. Flyers with a 6th-ranked power play, Wild the 2nd-best penalty kill. Flyers are 34.4% on home ice with the power play. It's his 2nd-best mark in the NHL, trailing only the Pittsburgh Penguins. Puck knocked down by Giroux, sends one toward the net. Save Kemper as Simmons looked for the deflection. And now it's Simmons to Streit. Right at the hash mark. Giroux out at the point for the moment. And now here's Voracek. Voracek moving on in, back out, Streit. Switch positions with Giroux. Now gets Giroux the puck. Simmons take this one off the back wall and then just get it right back to Giroux. Worked defensively so far by the Wild. Giroux then flings one in. Pad save Kemper, but they can't clear. Streit gets to Voracek. Voracek sends it in, a goal save made, and Simmons looking for the rebound. Could not finish it off. Spurgeon a chance to clear, and he does. Half-minute remaining on the power play. Nice clean sheet of ice to work with this man advantage as Reed moves up. So LeCavalier tipping it, but Reed can only dive and tip it a little deeper. A stick goes flying. Kemper jumps on top of the puck, and there's your whistle.
Good hustle in there by Matt Reed, trying to get in on that forecheck, forcing Kemper to freeze the puck. And with 14 seconds left in this power play opportunity, the Flyers would get an offensive zone face-off. Kemper's been very good in the early going here. 17 shots and 17 saves for the big man between the pipes.
His first ever look at the Flyers in person as the opposing goaltender. Flyers win the draw. They get it back out. Schultz to Andrew McDonald. And now LeCavalier takes a look toward the net. Back to McDonald. And now it's Vinny again. He'll wind and fire. It's blocked. Bounces high in the air. Blocked the shot. Save made by Kemper. Rebound. LeCavalier had it momentarily. Tipped away back to Schultz. Power play is over. Wild back to full strength. Umberger. Lawton. It's Lawton who comes up with the puck. Got it out in front. The shot by LeCavalier was blocked. Scandella got out there. That went off the end of LeCavalier's stick. Tried to get it back to Vinny in front, but it went on through. And now Nino Niederreiter moves up. They'll flip one wide of Emery. Bounces out the other side. Manicka's shot. That one also goes wide, perhaps off of something. Back out to Ballard. Around behind the Philadelphia net. And he couldn't come up with that. Now Dumba with a shot that's deflected and goes out of play.
Well, the Geico quote of this hockey game comes from the head coach, Craig Berube. And really what he's saying here is that they didn't skate. They didn't get the puck out. They played soft. And the big thing, I think, we meet with them before the game. We talked with him, and he said, we haven't moved. We didn't move out there, and for sure the edge to this team and the skating ability is much, much better. Higher level of compete in this game, and as a result, they're playing like it here.
Playing much better. Out-shooting the Wild 18-6 thus far, but the guy between the pipes for the Wild has had something to say about the Flyers getting anything to show for on the scoreboard, that they have not been able to do. They have to just continue to push. Luke Schenn getting it across. Coburn ahead, not be handled by Ronaldo, and that turns into an icing.
One of the few times that the Flyers have missed with their outlet pass. They've been crisp in that department as well. So much better start, as Chris was describing there. The legs are moving, they've got energy, and they're winning the puck battles, and that has given them the opportunity to outshoot the Wild by a 3-1 margin so far.
That's despite the fact that the Wild have had 2 power plays and the Flyers 1. There's Schenn to Ronaldo. And then he'll clear it all the way down. This will not be icing. Jared Spurgeon will have to play the puck. Listed at 5'9", 176 pounds. Not sure he's that big, but he's a big little defenseman.
Gifted offensive defenseman, too. You got to be careful of him. Pre-get
Here's Strike. Behind outlet, but that was knocked down by Koivu. Launches back to Strike, and now it's a 3-on-2. Left wing feed to Reed. Reed across ice. Simmons, the shot. Save. Kemper rebound. Reed, and it doesn't go. And Reed backhanding, but it hit something and would not enter the net. Another great scoring chance for the Flyers.
And it was Kemper that got across and made the pad save there to keep it out.
There is Strike trying to center. Koivu instead will move it up the wall. Pominville waits for some help. Gets to Suter. Ryan Suter takes a look back. Drops it to Pominville for a shot that fluttered up into the midsection of Grossman. And they dig for the puck along the wall.
Yep, you got it.
Parisi. Hanlon going into the wall. And Grossman has it again. And he just banks it all the way down. This will be icing against Philadelphia.
Well, Darcy Kemper's been the best player in the Minnesota Wild tonight. Here's some of the great saves. He's made a lot of them in tight around the net. Scotty Lawton having a great game. Kemper without a stick there. Again, a quick leg. And all these chances by the Flyers inside those hash marks, down inside about 15 feet. That's good goaltending. The Flyers with excellent pursuit, just failing to get one by Kemper. The only reason the score is still tied is because of the Minnesota Wild goalie.
He's big, 6'5". One of the scouting reports said he needs to work on his agility. His agility looked fine right there.
He's worked on it a lot so far in this game.
Yeah, exactly. There is Simmons, lobbing one out. Can't believe everything you read in those scouting reports, Jonesy.
No, you can't. That's why it's nice to see him up close and personal, isn't it?
Indeed. Kyle Granlund did across the Philadelphia line. Moves it around behind the net. Fontaine picks it off there. He's dumped. Braden Schenn to the puck. Schenn moving it ahead to Simmons. Simmons, Schenn, and Voracek as they're in the middle of the change. Shen goes and gets the puck. Giroux jumps on the ice. Pokes it back toward Shen. Niederreiter and Shen come together. And also in there was Prosser to get the puck ahead to Fontaine, and then off Granlund's stick to center. Flyers get it right back. Nick Schultz spinning it to Coburn. Turned it over in the neutral zone, and Fontaine got as far as Coburn at the line, but then following up is Niederreiter. And into the zone it goes. Past the 5-minute mark of this second period. Giroux. That one through, and it's flagged down by Voracek. Voracek ridden by Suter. The puck pops through to Ryan Carter, who spent training camp with the Devils and then signed with the Wild. Giroux down the Voracek shot, and the post rebound pops high in the air, up over the crossbar. Shen gets back to it, centered for Giroux, but it's tipped away. Flyers so close, but everything but the finish. Here's Parisi across ice, tipped by Giroux. Giroux then interfered with by Alba, but no call there. Play carries on. A little shot gloved by Emery, who has not seen much of the puck in this one, and he hangs right on to it.
Well, the Flyers ended up here far side. Giroux getting the puck over to Jake Voracek, and a great shot hits the post here on the near side of that shot. One thing with Minnesota, they're here waiting for the Flyers last night. They may watch that hockey game. Again, a quick look at the replay of the Flyers and the Rangers last night, and they're taking them for granted a little bit in this hockey game here tonight. Flyers with a much, much different, better team than the entire league saw last night in New York.
That's funny how that works. You see a team play as poorly as the Flyers did, and you can understand if the Wild watching that game, well, they might think, you might be able to sneak out of town with a win, not have to put in the maximum effort, but that's not the case. This guy's looked good. Scott Laughton, he got the puck in there. He has made some nice plays. He's very comfortable out there. And Scott played 5 games with the Flyers a couple years ago. Easy to forget, he's only 20 years of age. Dumba moves in, his shot, save Emery, left the rebound right out in front, and it's cleared to the boards by Umberger. Tough game for Emery. He has not been very busy. All of a sudden, the puck comes his way. Now the other way go the Flyers. Elmari got the puck in. He's going to chase with Ballard. Ballard tips to Dumba. Moving ahead to Coyle. Coyle right back to Dumba, and now through Ballard. Ballard had him battle the mumps earlier this year. He takes it off glass and down the ice for the icing call.
Well, the all-for-one deal is available now for when the Columbus Blue Jackets return this Saturday night, and includes a ticket plus an all-you-can-eat menu with beverages spanning 90 minutes prior to puck drop through the second intermission, all starting at $98. Visit PhiladelphiaFlyers.com to purchase. The Flyers looking to get back at the Blue Jackets, who came in here and beat the Flyers, and are going to put the Flyers in a little bit of a tailspin.
There's Voracek centering, and that's tipped away by Pominville as Schultz. He found himself open for a moment. Now is Giroux pivoting. Coyle chops at him. Giroux into the corner. Shen knocks the man down, and they play on, and the centering pass winds up on the stick of Ballard. Very young defense score for the most part for this Wild team. Ballard and Suter are the veterans. Ballard will wind this one in. Especially when Brodin is in the lineup, it becomes a very young defense score.
Huge loss without Brodin's services, and the Flyers want to take full advantage of his absence.
He is Suter's regular defense partner, but still trying to get back from his illness.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. One of the things they're serving here tonight on this memorable evening, Hall of Fame night, the Monster 88, the Monster Canadian Bacon Burger. Get yourself checked out after having one of those. You want to stop in and see your doctor.
Come on, Chris. I know that's where you're headed after the game.
No, I'm not. Trying to get off those
You can't tell me
burgers.
that doesn't look good right there.
It looks really good.
Fabulous.
Excellent.
Too good, right?
yeah. You don't want to put too many of those in the diet.
Yeah. You got the
Monster
Big 88 burger, and you got left wingers.
Big 88.
Some left wingers as well.
I saw that. It was a little cheaper than the Big 88. Johnny gives you a little discount there.
That's based upon their contracts.
Yeah.
Although they're
pretty
both
close.
did quite well. Yes. In that
No
regard.
doubt.
As did you.
Yes. Right? Because of them, yeah.
We approach the 8-minute mark of this second period. Still no score. Flyers with a 21-8 shot advantage, but not been able to parlay that into a goal. There's Spurgeon ahead. Parisi just flicks the puck deeper into Philadelphia ice. Emery is out. He'll play it into a crowd over in the corner. And then the Flyers dig it free. Couturier out of the zone. Suter takes over there. He played well over 10 minutes in the first period, so on pace for another one of those 30-minute plus games.
So economical in the way he plays the game. Reminds me of the way Chris Pronger played. And they can stay out there for extended periods of time and know exactly when to press the foot to the gas pedal and when to back off a little bit.
He doesn't even expend the energy that Chris did in terms of the physical play. He can be physical, but he's certainly not as nasty as Chris Pronger was. And we say that with all due respect to the former Flyer, who we just found out this week will be eligible for the Hockey Hall of Fame next year.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah. We'll waive the fact that he's still officially on the Flyers roster, but has not played now in 3 years, and so eligible next year.
Marc Savard would fall into that same category, though not as talented or as accomplished as Chris Pronger.
Penalty called, sort of a delayed reaction by the official, but he finally does go up with the arm, does Ghislain Hebert, and so the Flyers will be shorthanded for a third time.
Philadelphia number 47, minor penalty, tripping.
Flyers killed off the first two Minnesota Wild power play opportunities in the first period, and we'll try to again kill this one as Andrew McDonald's stick got caught on the net and tripped up Cal Granlund. McDonald looks on to see the evidence on the
I hate that call, Jonesy. I mean, this guy, it looked like he had his stick on the net. The guy was just happening to go over top of his stick. But nonetheless, the Flyers forced a kill here.
Hebert thought about it too.
Yeah, he did.
He decided to make the call. Here's a quick shot by Suter. It deflected and went wide. The Wild go right to work here. Vanek out into the slot. It's tipped. Kept in by Suter. Granlund now takes a look. Pass back to the point, deflected out of play by Giroux.
Good read there by Claude Giroux, and Minnesota looking for point shots with Vanek in front, and if Vanek doesn't tip it, Parise will. Both players do a terrific job in playing that net front presence game and look for rebounds and tips frequently, and most often, especially in the case of Parise, he gets to those loose pucks.
Couturier out now against Granlund on this draw. Wild win it. Suter for Granlund, talented youngster. Side of the net, Parise right back to Granlund. Good job there by Couturier to deflect the pass and then clear the zone. Kind of active sticks in the passing lane. The Flyers want to see on the penalty kill. Haven't been seeing much of in recent games. Now Granlund to Parise. And then trying to get it back around, but Coburn intercepts and got enough on that to clear the zone. 50 seconds into the power play. We hit the midpoint of regulation time. No score, Granlund gains the Philadelphia line and deals on the right wing for Vanek. Back across Parise, could not hang on. And they'll move it back to the points. Virgin to Granlund. He lost control as Bellemare had his stick in there. Schenn to Bellemare. Bellemare shoved to the wall, moves away from it, and flips it down the ice.
Two terrific reads, one by Bellemare, and then the recovery play along the wall. He wins the puck battle and gets right down there to disrupt Spurgeon from bringing the puck up the ice.
And then heads off the ice so fresh legs can get out there. Koivu in across the Niederreiter. Turns and swings the pass back down low to Koivu. Loose by the Wild. Pominville to Koivu. Now he'll bank it back out. Dumba to the Wild captain along the wall. Niederreiter shifts out with it. Back out to the point. Across it comes Dumba. Back across. One-time shot. They score! Niederreiter didn't appear to get all of it, but it winds up in the net. And the Minnesota Wild on the board as they lead it 1-0.
Flyers
finally get a power play go on the road.
Flyers get crossed up at the top of the box there. The pass across is an easy one because the two Flyer forwards are both on the same side of the ice. The one-timer by Niederreiter finds the back of the net.
That is a rocket pass too, Jonesy, going across. I mean, that is hard enough to get a one-timer on that. And, you know, I think he kind of fooled everybody. Sometimes the pass is too hard. You don't think the player's going to be able to one-time it. He surprised everybody with it. Even Ray Emery trying to get across from his right to left. It's a good one-timer by Nino Niederreiter, the former New York Islander, who's revamped his career here in Minnesota.
5 goals now in his last 4 games. And for the Wild, the long wait for a road power play goal comes to an end. Here is Fontaine moving up into the corner. Now it's Hawa. Worked on by Shen, but fading away. Thompson back down low. Strike trying to get there. He and Carter are tangled up. Carter trying to fish that puck free behind the net. Now it's looked free by Fontaine instead. And Fontaine gets to Hawa for a shot that goes wide. Back out to Ballard, keeping it in. So some jump now for the Wild after scoring that goal. And they spend this shift in the Flyers zone. Here's Coyle. Playing it to himself off the wall, getting himself some space, but then losing control. Giroux trying to work on the big Coyle. Konecny comes across and unable to hammer it home was Zucker, but there is a penalty coming up against Philadelphia. Delayed call, and the Wild get to the puck. And they center it, the shot. Emery the save off of Fontaine, and he'll cover up. But another power play for the Wild. When we return, they have the lead.
Held up 1-0. They picked up a power play goal moments ago. They get another power play opportunity here. Claude Giroux, a little cross check there. That was okay. The second one wasn't bad. The slash was what the referee called, and Coyle made the play. On the power play, though, the Flyers get 3 players on the same side. Grossman, Van de Velde, Umberger. That leaves a wide open passing lane. Dumba finds Niederreiter, and it's a pretty easy shot from that far in. He beats Emery with that. He didn't get it all, but he got enough of it to get it past the Flyer goalkeeper.
The Flyers' woes on the penalty kill continue, and they have to go right back to work on it here with Giroux in the box. Reed will clear all the way down. Flyers just 6 for their last 14 on the penalty kill. There's been a lot of cross-ice passes that have been made successfully against it, Jonesy. Just lack of recognition.
It can be. That's just a play that can't happen on the last one. They had been doing a terrific job, especially in these battles in the corner, and have come up with a bunch of loose pucks early in this game and just slipped away from them in the latter part of that last power play.
There is Reed moving up. Get that puck through. Back is Koivu. 1:15 on the power play. Suter will slowly move his way to center. Koivu winds it in. Skips through. Suter. It was checked by Belmar, who got it off his stick to the neutral zone. Pominville, the veteran, has it. They'll get it back deep into the Minnesota zone as they look to start up from behind their net here. Goes Scandella. Game winner for the Wild in their win against Winnipeg in overtime. Grossman turns with it and hit Koivu, who's heading off the ice. No whistle. Finally, they blow it dead. And that has to be blown dead because he's supposed to be off the ice. They're just going to drop the puck in the neutral zone. They're not going to call a penalty.
Referee from the neutral zone made the call. There was a strange play as it hit the backside of Mikko Koivu, was trying to climb in the door. And another Wild jumped in. And there's Parise showing some frustration on the work on the power play. There's the play, and there's the pants of Koivu, but he's in the door already, and that's why they made the call. He was off the ice surface.
Perfect pass.
Yes.
It was going to be trouble for the Flyers for sure, and a good call made by the officials to stop play. 20 seconds remaining in the power play. Here's Umberger. Wild will move it back. Panic. Niederreiter. Sliding that puck through it, comes across ice, some room here. The shot! Shoulder save by Emery off of Dumba. Now battle again. Coburn knocks his man down. Play carries on. The power play is over. And Giroux will pick the pocket of Scandella and start the Flyers back the other way. Giroux to Coburn. And he'll just chip it deeper into the Minnesota zone. Flyers will get full line out on the ice. So back to full strength hockey. 5:36 to play in this second period. Simmons to LeCavalier. Holds on. Centers it in the middle. Straight shot. He scores! In his 100th game as a Flyer, Mark Streit has his 3rd goal of the year. He ties this game at 1 and scores for a case of Tasty Cake.
Flyers do a nice job on the PK, and then they come right back down the ice. A terrific save by Ray Emery on Dumba, who walked in and blasted a shot. And Emery comes up with a save right there with the shoulder, and they head the other way, and Vinny Lecavalier makes a heads-up play, looked to shoot first, held on to it, and found Mark Streit streaking through the middle. He finds the 5-hole on Kemper, pumps that fist to the fans, and the Flyers are back even here.
So we start over here with 5:29 to go in the second period. Streit right on the edge of the top 10 in points among defensemen in the NHL. He has certainly not shown any kind of hesitation in joining in the offensive play during the course of this year. The Flyers get a bump from that goal as Zucker gets that puck into the Philadelphia zone offside with the call at the Philadelphia line. So Streit has tied things at 1.
Let's take a look at our power back rehabilitation comeback goal of the game, and it just happened. Vinny Lecavalier to Mark Streit. Simmons and Lecavalier both pick up assists on the play, and Streit has the score tied up at 1 apiece.
Earlier in the first period as well here, Jonesy, you got the Wells Fargo great check of the game, and it belongs to Zach Rinaldo going hard at Keith Ballard down in the offensive zone, gets the arm around him. Little wrestling move nonetheless, but Zach Rinaldo gets you Wells Fargo, a great check of the game and a good effort. Got some energy going in this building for his teammates early in that first period.
Streit and Rinaldo helping the Flyers in this one. Schenn will shuffle that puck back. Andrew McDonald ahead for Voracek. He swarmed upon, got Carter with a high stick, and was going to foul through playing the puck. Oh, and Voracek is knocked down by Ballard. He was down for a minute, gets back up as Giroux and the other Flyers go after Ballard. Ballard is known for throwing hip checks. He likes to throw hip checks, and hip checks tend to be dangerous. Voracek is very slowly making his way to the Philadelphia bench, and he is gingerly going over there, and all eyes on him now. Can ill afford to lose this guy. He has been so good this year.
Yeah, there was a little high stick there just prior to that as Voracek cleared the puck in. It's his defenseman Ballard that catches Carter with his sticks. It's a little friendly fire there, and then Voracek tries to slide by Ballard on the boards, and he took that hip check in that Charlie Horse area. Hopefully Jake is okay. The 2015 NHL All-Star fan vote is now underway. Speaking of Voracek, vote to send your favorite Flyers to the All-Star game in Columbus this January. Cast your vote by going to PhiladelphiaFlyers.com/All-Star to nominate the Flyers best to be in the starting lineup.
Interference to call.
Yeah, it's the right call. He disrupted Voracek's ability to get into the zone.
Christopher Boyle hoping that Flyers can make good on this power play. They're moving the faceoff out to center ice as some attention from Ryan Carter taking that stick up at again. Although from up here it looked like it was a foul through a Voracek stick, which wouldn't have been a penalty either.
Right.
It was actually Ballard's stick that caught Carter. Faceoff out in center here.
Yeah, that was a strange sequence there. Not sure if the Flyers jumped into the circle twice and they moved it outside. It was very strange.
Well, the Flyers getting the puck into the zone and get control anyhow. Here's Giroux. Willing to strike. Giroux cutting it as the pass goes to Simmons. Right back to Giroux, and now Simmons side of the net. Trying to get it in front, but he spun it through. Here's Voracek. Obviously okay, or at least well enough to be out there. Voracek holding on. Centers, redirection, save! Kemper off of Schenn, and no further play.
Voracek and Streit doing a nice job, and Voracek finds Brayden Schenn. He's set up in the slot area as a stick on the ice. That's the key to that play. Voracek and Streit let the puck do the walking, and then Voracek hits the stick of Schenn right there. He tips it. Kemper does a nice job of coming across and squeezing that one. See the puck settled in right on top of his pad, so no rebound chance for Wayne Simmons.
He's trying to keep the puck in the zone as they hustle after it. Although the Wild had a short time outnumbered it. Flyers still keep it in behind the back pass. Straight to Voracek. Voracek settles things. Back to Streit all the way across Giroux. Correcting traffic. Giroux to Simmons. Simmons sent it in front. Voracek shot! And it's stopped in front. They dig it loose, and here's Schenn. Getting it back out to Streit. Faking the shot, giving to Voracek. All the way across. Giroux back to Streit. Double screen is set up. Giroux. He urged to shoot the puck, but holding on. Now finding Simmons. Spins. Got a shot off to save Nate Kemper. Rebound. Sat at the side of the net for a moment, but then was covered. And then some late pushing and shoving. As tempers flare some. But the men in striped shirts are there to keep things relatively peaceful. So we can tell you about tomorrow. Michael Barr can, recapping the Flyers Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. Eric Lindros and John LeClair, plus he'll be joined by Ek Reese and Jeff Mosher to hear their thoughts as the Eagles prepare for the Titans. Watch Phillies Sports Talk, presented by Comcast Business, tomorrow night, 5 o'clock, Comcast Sports Talk. Wild able to win the defensive zone draw and clear it all the way down. 40 seconds remaining on the penalty to Ballard. Niederreiter wins the race for the puck in the Philadelphia zone. The Flyers get it back. And now McDonald. Surveying as he moves up. Back to Reed. Cavalier. Now Reed will spin it back around for Couturier. The second unit obviously out. Umberger to the Cavalier. Perimeter passing to this point. Settle in. Reed. Cavalier play catch, and now McDonald. To the Cavalier. Umberger checked as he moved toward the corner. Cavalier could not get it past Granlund, and now the Wild move back. Power play is over. Granlund stopped by McDonald. Umberger ahead. The Cavalier cuts to the middle. Pass for Couturier. Couturier for Reed. Back around the other way. Flyers are going for a change here. It hits Couturier and Umberger as they went to the change, and then Vanderbilt able to keep the puck in the zone. Let the Wild get it back. Cavalier checks Granlund, and now the Flyers have Vanderbilt to Reed. Reed leaned on. Good work there defensively by Scandella. Over and reaching for the puck. Now play by Granlund, back around behind the Philadelphia net. Final 2 minutes and 20 seconds of this second period. Wild keeping it in here. Ballard. Down low. And it is Nick Schultz there for Philadelphia. Ahead to Reed. And he will flutter one deep to Minnesota ice. Ballard's the first to it. Right along for Felicio. Chops it, but not out. Up on the play again. His strike. Tip pass for Ronaldo. Ronaldo trying to center. It's blocked. Goes behind the net. Ballard takes Ronaldo into the boards. Puck still in their skates. It kicks free, but Ballard able to control it. Ballard then almost turned over. Does turn it over. Belmar tips to Ronaldo. Ronaldo takes a look. His shot is blocked. And now the Wild able to bounce it out to the neutral zone.
Good offensive zone pressure again for the Flyers. They were unsuccessful on their last power play chance, but have done a nice job of jumping out with some good legs here immediately following their last attempt.
Voracek stopped on his rush. The puck bounces to the circle off of bodies. Giroux finds it. And Giroux now low for Voracek. Voracek takes a look and then just chips it back to the point. Luciana's shot and a save by Kemper. Wild will clear it all the way down wide of the Philadelphia net. Grossman has to hustle, and he doesn't get the edge, and then he takes Zucker down. It's all allowed, no icing. The puck in front with a shot, and Coyle was denied. Now an arm is up, and there will be a penalty. Penalty up against Philadelphia as the puck to Suter for a shot, and that one rejected in front with a lot of traffic around Emery. Delayed call here as Spurgeon flips the puck on the wall. And shot save Emery through a crowd off of Pominville. And he'll hang on, but another power play for Minnesota.
Well, our Independence Blue Cross fearless play this hockey game belongs to the Minnesota Wild's Ryan Carter. Gets that high stick inadvertently by his teammate Keith Ballard right in the chops. That's tough. Stayed out there, finished the shift, but boy, those hurt, especially out here in the cold. Stick right in the mouth. That is the Independence Blue Cross fearless play.
Meantime, Grossman has been called for tripping.
Yeah, Craig Berube not happy here with this call.
Well, I think it goes back to where we were at the beginning of the game, where it seemed like they had set a certain tone, and now we're getting some calls that are made and some of the scrums and some that aren't.
And the frustration from Craig Berube comes from the official in neutral zone making the call when there was a ref right beside it that clearly decided that it wasn't a penalty, and the referee helped out from the neutral zone, and that's where Berube's frustration, I think, comes from.
Flyers jump on the puck here. Final 20 seconds of the second period. Reed will wind it in. Wild with time for one more rush here in the period. They turn the puck over though. Giroux to Couturier. He'll wind, fake the shot, hold, fire, save, Kemper. Puck tipped away and then played by Vanek, who turns it over. Couturier, 3 seconds to Giroux. Giroux running out of time. And the horn sounds, ending period number 2. 1:16 of power play time remaining for the Wild when the third period begins. Order of business, kill off the penalty to Nick Grossman here as this third period gets underway. Fifth power play of the game for the Wild. And they start up the ice. Zach Parise tipping it in. Schultz over. Go around for Vanek. He fumbled the puck away. Coburn hit Reed with his clear, but Reed able to move the puck out to the neutral zone. Pominville gets it back. Wilson Pominville over from Buffalo, now in his third year with the Wild. Almost a point per game pace against the Flyers in his career. Really an underrated player, Jason Pominville.
No question about it. The former captain of the Buffalo Sabres, good leadership qualities, and he's got a heck of a set of hands with a big shot to go with him.
4 players that have worn the C for one team or another on the roster for the Wild. Suter stopped there by Umberger, racing to get the puck. Is Giroux, and he nearly got it away from Suter, but Koivu will play it around to the other side. Schenn cuts that puck off and nudges it back deeper into Minnesota ice. Final 6 seconds of the Minnesota power play as Grossman waits to leave the penalty bench. And he gets up and he's on his way out. So the Flyers kill that one off. It's a 1-1 game here early in the third. Niederreiter, shot, save, Emery rebound right out in front, another shot, and Emery able to make the save there on Granlund, but they keep it in. And Spurgeon shot deflected in front, bounces his side of the cage. Wild were after it. Granlund has it again, but his pass tipped. He's able to move it across ice, though. Here's Scandella, winds it, fires, and scores! Marco Scandella, his 4th of the year, blasting it past Emery, and the Wild are back on top. It's 2-1.
Emery had a couple of rebound opportunities that kicked back out to the Minnesota Wild that kept this play alive, and then Scandella walked in and blasted away. The Flyers unable to come up with that loose puck as Granlund did a good job getting it started. Niederreiter finds Scandella, and it's a rocket shot that's wobbling, and Emery can't come up with the glove.
You know what happens? Vinny's at the top of the blue line, and he gets caught as Scandella moves in. That's where the pass was seen. Just that split second gave him the opening, and Howitzer right up over the glove hand to Ray Emery.
Emery did get a piece of that, but not enough. Keep it from entering the net. Scandella with 2 game-winning goals this year, including, as we mentioned earlier, the last game for the Wild as he scored in overtime. Icing the call here. And now puts his team on top here in the third.
Flyers will have to dig back down deep again and try to get that equalizer. A good start to the period for Minnesota. After their power play failed, they came back at even strength, and Scandella picked up his 4th goal of the season, continues to improve as a defender, and has really added some offensive flair to his game this year.
To draw a quick shot on the side by Kemper. Very busy through the first 2 periods, facing 27 shots on goal. Not something that Minnesota goaltenders are used to. Grossman down behind for Voracek. Voracek takes a look in front. Grossman was there, but the puck never got to him. Braden Schenn hoping for Giroux. He was spilled. Straight in from the point. That's right to Giroux. Pass makes its way all the way back to Grossman. Cross for Voracek. Voracek shot blocked by Ballard. He was stung a little bit by that. Voracek carries the puck around behind the net. Out the other side. Dropping it to Grossman, who flips one. Save Kemper. And he's able to cover up. Another face-off in the Minnesota zone as we look at the Jeep Trivia question. For tonight's game, we asked who holds the Minnesota Wild franchise record for most career games played. Nick Schultz. I'd actually given the answer before I gave the question. A little Jeopardy action for you. But there it is. Nick Schultz. And he's, we said earlier, it's not even close. 743 games for Nick Schultz as a member of the Minnesota Wild. Koivu's playing in his 619th tonight, his 2nd on the list. So Schultz is going to hold that for a while.
Yes, he is. Playing well for the Flyers here in Philadelphia, too.
Schultz nearly a decade, parts of 10 seasons at least, with the Wild. Really been big for the Flyers. Injured defense score. Niederreiter. That puck around behind the Philadelphia net. Now come up with it. Granlund takes a look. Flips one all the way across. Tipped through the slot. Niederreiter didn't do much with that. And now it's cleared out by Belmont. Mandela back to get it. Nate Prosser. And a head-off Coyle stick deep into the Philadelphia zone. Played up the wall, but not gathered by Reed. Prosser's shot and a save by a late reacting Emery. Did not see that puck until got close to him. Cross-ice pass for Schultz. He did well just to get that out of the slot. And then a quick shot by Haula, smothered by Emery. And he's going to hang right onto it.
Did you know you can upgrade your Santa Sack holiday gift to the Captain's Package and receive 4 tickets and a Flyers stick autographed by Flyers captains Giroux, Simmons, and Streit? Shop online at PhiladelphiaFlyers.com for the opportunity to get involved with the Captain's Package.
Giroux is not happy. So he is targeting some of his frustration at the officials. The Flyers move it through center ice, but right to Dumba. Sends it back into the Philadelphia zone. As you said, the Flyers are going to have to really reach down here. Played last night. Out have been sitting around. There's a shot! And where's the puck? Emery has a man on top of him, and the puck is somewhere among those two players, evidently. And how is that not a penalty?
The official must have thought that Nick Schultz pushed Pominville into Ray Emery. The official was in good position there and is having a discussion about...
Yeah, that's exactly what I think happened, Jonesy. I think Emery was at the side, shot came by, and look, yeah, that's what happened. Schultz pushed Pominville into Ray, kind of slid across his back, and Pominville figured, I'm going to get my money's worth here.
Well, also, nobody knew where the puck was. They're still looking for it.
It's in Ray's equipment, probably.
Well, perhaps. They were looking in the net. Thankfully for the Flyers, they didn't find it in the net.
And the ref wasn't going to blow the whistle with Pominville there if that puck was still alive because he was pushed into the Flyer netminder. That's why there was a delay as he looked to try to find it. You can see it hits Schultz first, and then I don't know if it rolls down into the...
Yeah, I think it went into the glove of Schultz. Did it have slid down the glove? Looks like it hit him in the armor. I'll tell you what, I've had him... They can hide on you pretty good, Jonesy.
That one, I don't know where it ended up.
No one does.
Could end up on the ice here in the next shift or
Chris
something.
Pronger has it.
Exactly.
That's right. He does take those pucks. There are your shots on goal, heavily in favor of the Flyers, but hasn't translated into a lead where it counts. Straight a shot! Save made, rebound to Granlund, and he's just going to ice it. The Flyers get another offensive zone draw.
A lot of their offensive zone chances have come from Mark Streit jumping in from the point position. There's Nick Schultz, who's on the bench there, the former Minnesota Wild defender who was involved in that missing puck that just baffled us moments ago.
He just wanted a puck to remember the night by, you know, John LeClair, Eric Lindros going to the Flyers Hall of Fame, so he just snuck away with that puck. Nobody knew. Everybody was looking in the net. Ray Emery looking for it in his equipment. Pominville will send this puck across ice. And now it's Parisi to Pominville. Winds it, fires well wide, and that will go all the way down the ice. Now Lawton jumps out with a Cavalier and an Umberger. Emery will get to McDonald. Move it out to the neutral zone. With Prosser, an extra defenseman for the Wild, who's been pressed into service quite a bit this year with the illness and injuries to the defense corps. Flyers nearly turned that over, but it does make its way to the neutral zone. Haula getting it back to Prosser, and then a misfire on the pass. And now Luke Schenn. Luke Schenn turned back. Both Schenn and McDonald making their return from injuries for the Flyers here tonight. And they're paired together. Lawton twirls it into the Minnesota zone, and this line will head off for change. The puck makes its way back right out to where they were going. The Flyers will play it back into Minnesota ice. We approach the 6-minute mark of this third period. Pace is really slowed here. I don't think the Wild mind that. They protect the 2-1 lead. Into the Philadelphia end, and Schultz takes a look both ways. Takes the hit to make the play. Schenn trying to spring Ronaldo. Now Now the puck bounces out. Hooker checked by Melma. Head for Schenn. Schenn with the right wing feed for Ronaldo. Ronaldo on the backhand. Center! Schenn goes hard to the net. Gets dumped by Coyle. Net off its moorings. I don't see an arm up. Play stopped. We'll be back.
Welcome back to Philadelphia. Have a look right here. John LeClaire and Eric Lindros on their special night. Hall of Fame night here in Philadelphia. A couple of great power forwards. And our Hyundai save of the game tonight, right in front of these two fellas, belongs to Darcy Kemper here. Great save on Matt Reed coming in on the rebound. Finds the puck. Kemper gets over, gets a pad and the stick down for what is the Hyundai great save of the game.
Kemper's been the story for the Minnesota Wild in this one. Flyers now 31 shots on goal. Only one's got past them, and they've got straight out there with Giroux's line, and they'll try to generate another offensive chance here.
Flyers get to it. Schenn down behind. Centers it, straight shot, save, Kemper rebound! And he was able to knock that one away. Voracek looks away from Niederreiter and gets to Giroux. Giroux tried a quick shot, blocked off by Prosser. Voracek gets it back, tried to go cross ice, but Ryan Carter had other ideas. Now the puck in the neutral zone, picked off by Niederreiter. And now Voracek tied up with a Wild player right in front of Chris Therien.
Ryan Carter was giving Voracek the business there in front of Chris, and then Voracek took exception to it as he threw his arm back towards Ryan Carter. That's a trade-off that the Minnesota Wild want.
Get the 4-on-4. I almost got a piece of lumber in my little area here.
You gotta watch that.
Yeah,
Yep.
you do. Yeah, but you know what though? Both guys here are going to get a 2 minutes for roughing, I believe, each. Good play by Streit again. Same kind of play scored earlier on sneaking in. He's been more active in this game, guys, and I've seen him in a long time. A lot more determination, really jumping into those holes. And you know what? It's hard. It's effort plays, getting into those seams and working to get up the ice. He's been great tonight.
Craig Berube has challenged some of the players on this team to up their level of play. Streit has answered that call here in this game. We're on four. Shot there, saved by Kemper off of Coburn. Saw it all the way. And Granlund wheels back behind his net and starts back. 22 years of age. Very well in the postseason for the Wild last year. Drops it back to shot. Save Emery. A rebound right out of the slot off of Parisi. Sends the Flyers the other way. Couturier tried to finesse his way through at the line, but he was spilled. So it suited the other way. Could not connect with Granlund. Schultz will turn back. Feeds it on the left wing for Matt Reed. Ritchie State product. He has some Minnesota roots. The puck in. There's Ballard. 11 players for the Wild who had college hockey experience, and 4 of them are former Gophers. University of Minnesota. So they're very familiar.
Vanek, one of those, right?
Yep, Vanek is one. Ballard another. Steve Bickle is one. That puck is set in by Wayne Simmons. And a collision along the wall. Flyers come away with the puck. Simmons. Twisted turn his way away from Scandella. Got the puck off the Lawton. He goes to the slot, but his shot is deflected into the safety netting.
Lawton's been out there a lot for Craig Berube and doing a nice job. The Flyers take on Columbus this Saturday at 7 at the Wells Fargo Center. Tickets are still available. Also, if you're coming to the game, consider bringing a non-perishable food donation to support Preston and Steve's Camp Out for Hunger and Fill Abundance.
Eric Howell, by the way, is the other former Gopher. And Scott Lawton, frustrated there. You know, that's a play in the AHL. He probably has time to get that shot through, but in the NHL, it's just a half step quicker.
Biggest difference, right? Trying to deal with the time and the limits that are on you when you have the puck on your stick. And Minnesota, one of the better defending teams in the league, have allowed the Flyers plenty of offensive opportunities in this game, and Kemper's been able to close the door on most of them.
I said that. Been a strong game for Lawton. Some more ice time. That puck bouncing toward the slot, tipped away. McDonald could not get there. It's Niederreiter the other way. He's getting help from Coyle. Wright goes over to push him to the outside, but the pass goes back into the middle. Shot Suter, deflection, and it hit Emery, and he jumps on top of it. Fortuitous bounce there for the Flyers.
Yeah, Coyle providing that screen. We talked about Scott Lawton. Here's some of the body of work. The wraparound attempt there. Kemper just gets across and squeezes that one. Quick heads-up shot there with Umberger providing the screen. Lawton again, the shot to the net. Umberger trying to get there. And he's moved on to a different unit here. He's out for the goal, playing with Simmons and LeCavier as the second period progressed, and continues to play on that line here in the third period.
8:27 of ice time, so he surpassed last night by a minute and a half already. Total for last night, he played 7 minutes. Here's Matt Reed. Reed to Couturier, back to Reed. Reed to the backhand, and that's fought off by Kemper. Awkward looking save by the Minnesota goaltender, but he got the job done.
The backhand fooled him there. It's always tough for goaltenders to pick up exactly where that puck is going on the backhand.
Reed trying to shift his way through again, but he lost control. Now he backs the puck to Couturier. Couturier worked on by Ballard. Shows his strength around behind. Centers! It's tipped wide by a Wild player. Now Schultz leaned on in the corner. Flyers get to it. Reed. Back to the point shot. Coburn! And that hits off the glass. Now Scandella moved it ahead. There's Carter. And Carter a shot. And Emery the save. He's able to find the puck and hang on.
Tricky little shot there from Ryan Carter, the former Devil coming down the wing, who elected to head back home this year. The Devils did offer him a contract, but he chose the Minnesota Wild. Did a nice job there in firing that puck. Also did a nice job in his previous shift in getting Jake Voracek off the ice for a couple of minutes. The Wild will take that exchange anytime.
And there's a point shot, and Emery the save on Spurgeon. Another shot, fought off in front. His Suter got one through. Flyers now look to break. Here's Lawton. Swinging wide, and they're making a nice move, stepping around Spurgeon, but he's checked from behind. Still has control. Now finally does lose it. And the Flyers go back to their own line to get it.
Had the fans oohing and awing here. Scott Lawton with a tricky move in the neutral zone, and then that time closed on him.
Umberger around for LeCavier. Now Lawton to protect the puck from Coyle. Puts it around behind, but Umberger couldn't get to it. Now LeCavier fights to it on Umberger, but Umberger was just picking up his stick. Here's Strike. Back down low, LeCavier. LeCavier in front, went through the blue paint, reaching for it, one-handing it wide was Umberger. Now Umberger behind the net. Getting some help from LeCavier. Umberger tried to maneuver the puck out in front. It winds up back at the point. Strike. Now it's twisted down low. Elmar, Umberger trying to set it to Strite, who's in deep again, but it didn't get through, and the Wild will send it all the way down. Icing is the call again. Flyers continue to press.
Well, the Toyota turning point in this hockey game belongs to Marco Scandella of the Minnesota Wild. Big shot up over the glove of Ray Emery right at the beginning of this third period. And that's a 2-1 goal for Minnesota. And we're going to give themselves a timeout right now, but that is the Toyota turning point thus far. There's still some time left for the Flyers to even this up, and it looks like Minnesota is using their timeout here with some tired bodies and their head coaches trying to set a play here to try to get these guys off the ice.
Mike Yeo waited to see which line Craig Berube put on the ice in response to the icing and the problem he would have with this guys being a little tired. Giroux came out, so he quickly used his timeout.
Flyers are home for one more game before they start a long stretch of road hockey. They will host the Columbus Blue Jackets on Saturday night. Blue Jackets winning here a week ago, and Flyers looking to get back at them. Our coverage begins with Flyers pregame live at 6:30, puck drop just after 7 o'clock. Then the Flyers hit the road to the island in Detroit, come home, pit stop at home on Black Friday against the Rangers, and then it's a road trip to New York and out to California. The Flyers, after the game Saturday against Columbus, will play 7 of the next 8 and 15 of their next 20 games on the road. So it will be time to get things going away from home. The struggle there for the Flyers so far this year. They've been good here at home. Add to that record right here as they trail 2-1 past the midpoint of this third period. Vanek up the middle. Grossman trying to get back. Vanek then flipping it, hoping to flip it, but he's up behind the net. Grossman bats it to Strike. Back to Grossman. Strike. And to Giroux, who had been coming at him. Did well to get it to Voracek, who finds Schenn. Schenn's pass into the middle, jabbed ahead, and then Voracek takes it and lays it deep into the Minnesota zone. Careening in after it, but the Wild come away with it. Moves it to the line, out, straight a shot, got through, save, Voracek, rebound! Couldn't finish as he was being knocked to the ice, or at least heading to the ice. Crowd wanted a penalty, they're not going to get it. And now the Wild clear the zone. Big hit attempt behind the play as Prosser was involved. Flyers get the puck here. Strike. Braden Shen, who is tangled up with Prosser. Now the puck across ice here. Hope pass for Couturier did not make it. And Simmons comes up with it. Flyers now at 36 shots on goal. The most the Wild have allowed in a game this year, coming in 31. Flyers at 36 and still 8:25 to play in regulation time. There's Ballard back. Couturier in on him. Good seal-off check there. Simmons to the puck. Back to Couturier. Rides along the dasher and now has to be tracked down by Reed, but he overskates, and the Wild shovel it out to center. Schultz loves it, but right to a Wild player. That's Parisi across. Pominville, a shot. Save made by Emery. Now the scramble for the puck bounces to Pominville. Pominville turns with it and fires into a crowd. Save Emery is there are two Wild players right in the slot area. Moves the puck forward. Simmons did not beat Pominville to the puck. Pominville from the angle. Sent that off of Emery, and then Reed drilled it backboard and then up the wall, but not out. Suter kept it in. Here's Parisi. So dangerous from this territory. Parisi center shot. Emery the big stop on Spurgeon, and now finally it's Simmons to the puck. He'll skate it up. Nate Simmons a beeline up the left wing. On the back end and stops. It's wrapped up by Suter. Reed tips to Lawton. Lawton behind the net. Is it to the corner and then back out to McDonald. McDonald, little wrister, blocked, bounces to the high slot, all white jerseys there. Oh, Spurgeon just in front of a hit attempt by Ronaldo, cleared the zone. Now Ronaldo has the puck. He'll play it in. Up by Zucker, hooked a little bit by him as well. Scandella will play it with Orich. Another big hit as Scandella was knocked down. Crowd loved that. Scandella wanted a penalty. Here's Luke Shen. Laying it out to center, and there's Dumba. 6:48 remaining. Ballard from the red line and in. Fires through the puck to Lawton. Right back to Strike. He was swarmed upon. McDonald waiting as the Flyers are making some player changes, and then he just sends it off the stick down the ice.
Some different looking lines here in the third period. Van de Velde has not been on the bench, and the Flyers forced to juggle around some of their firepower.
He's getting extra shifts with the fourth line. Voracek. Nice pass to Giroux, full bore through center, cutting to the middle, but too many white jerseys get to him. Shen, though, keeps the puck alive and recovers it. Finds Grossman. Quick shot was blocked off in front. Braden Shen playing some good hockey. He is enjoying playing with Giroux and Voracek. Who wouldn't, but he's earning his time there by playing with a lot of energy.
Yep, a ton of energy. Had the big hit on Prosser in the corner, and then Ronaldo came out with another good contact play behind the net. Flyers trying to find a way to get something going here.
And offside go the Wild at the Philadelphia line. 5:46 remaining in the third. Thank you very much, Layla. Ray Emery getting himself ready here for the final stages of the third period, along with our game cameraman, Andy Rabel. A shout out and thanks to our technical crew tonight, bringing you all the great pictures, sounds, and graphics. There's Andy. He's also, when he works Phillies games, very good at catching the baseball.
I saw
wow.
that, yes. Was very focused there,
If
too.
the puck would come his way here, I'm sure he would snare it.
Yes. Staring right down that lens.
He can multitask with the rest of them. All right, Flyers trying to find a goal to equalize things here. They have scored 36 shots on Darcy Kuemper, but only one has gotten through. Schultz, the wall. Reed, nice tip pass to Couturier. 3-on-2 for the Flyers. Coburn joining the rush. Couturier moving up to Coburn. Coburn, the shot! Save it, bounces high in the air, then is batted up over the cage. Simmons gets it back out to Schultz for Coburn. Wrist shot there, blocked by Parisi. He's got help coming. He finds Pominville. Pominville to the Philadelphia line. Back for Parisi. Checked by Coburn. Granlund stopped by Reed. Flyers get it back. Tell from our angle whether that puck was close to going in after it bounced high in the air, but it seemed pretty close.
It was, and Kuemper wasn't taking any chances as he got back there. Good hustle by Coburn joining the rush there, and Simmons did a terrific job of pushing the Minnesota defender back.
Down the ice it goes. LeCavalier got there to cancel the icing, but the Wild moved the puck up. Ghostman for LeCavalier. They come together. And the puck bouncing toward the Philadelphia line. Here's Grossman. Sending it in. Coyle back to Ballard. And now Prosser stumbling some. There's getting to him. Cavalier, but he could not come up with the puck. Prosser across to Ballard again, and now Vanek. His pass misfires. That'll make this icing. Hard to take that. Offensive zone draw.
Minnesota's already used their timeout. Craig Berube quickly comes out with the Giroux unit, and he'll try to take full advantage of that icing.
Craig Berube looking on, and he's not in Buffalo right now. The game tomorrow between the Rangers and Sabres has been postponed due to, I've lost count of how much snow up there. It's incredible. Over the course of 3 days, I've heard 6 to 7 feet of snow have fallen in some areas. And certainly our best wishes to all the folks up there in Buffalo. There have been some lives lost. It's been an unbelievable situation where lake effect snow, and it's just settled in right over that area. So they'll play that game later on. And play called here. And closing the hand on the puck has been called. The Flyers will get a power play. 3:56 to go. A chance to tie when we return.
Players get the attention of the referee. Nate Prosser gets ticketed to the box for putting his hand over the puck, and the Flyers will try to take full advantage of that.
You've heard of the crowd calling a penalty. Well, in that case, Claude Giroux and Jake Voracek at least making the official aware of that as Voracek fired high and wide. Flyers get set back up. Right to Voracek. Lost stick. Ryan Carter was without a stick. He gets one from the bench. Here's Giroux down low. Simmons. Simmons back to Giroux. He'll wind a blast blocked. That one knocked down by Spurgeon. Strike gets it back to Voracek. Voracek looking. Nothing in the middle. Now he finds Schenn to Giroux. He scores! Great spot by Schenn. Giroux with the finish. And we're tied at 2. Power play goal. Claude Giroux scores for a case of Tasty Cakes. It's 2-2.
We said the Wild block a ton of shots. Spurgeon did block a shot, but it knocked the skate protector off of 46. He's standing there, he can't move, so he tries to dive to get across. The pass is perfect by Brayden Schenn and Giroux one time. So there's the block shot there. You can see that guard on his skates. We talk a lot about that protective guard. He can't get across to get out there. And Brayden Schenn did a terrific job getting the puck to Giroux, and he found the back of the net.
Puck goes out of play in the neutral zone. We get back to live action. So Giroux with his 6th, his 399th NHL point. And he is exhorting the troops.
You can see the emotion there, and there's the play by Brayden Schenn. Brought the defender Carter towards him and then put the pass right in the wheelhouse of Giroux, and he made perfect contact with that puck and just drove it home.
Brayden Schenn and Voracek with the assist, so those 3 players all had point streaks end last night. They're back on the horse here this evening.
Let's take a look at our power back rehabilitation comeback goal of the game, and it's Claude Giroux on a beautiful feed from Schenn. Voracek started the play from the corner, and that is tic-tac-toe passing with a nice finish, and Giroux pumps that fist.
Wild had killed off 20 of their last 21 man-down situations. The Flyers power play so good here at home. They score basically 1 out of every 3 times on home ice with a man advantage. Ties this game back up. Key call on the concealing the puck. Delay of game minor against Prosser. Flyers move the puck along the wall. Did not get it out. Horseman turns back with it and turns it over to Zucker. Zucker now looking, firing, and it goes right on through. Voracek will shuffle it, and it goes off of Suter into the Philadelphia bench. There was your McDonald's power play payoff winner from Harrisburg, Josh. And congratulations to Josh, $75. Flyers power play notch this one up. There is Schultz. Reed, he tipped it from his side of the red line, making that icing. The face-off will go all the way back into Philadelphia. Ice as players will make their way back. There's Spurgeon now with his skate all repaired. And no skate protector now.
No, we got rid of that for the end of this game. And the Flyers just one center iceman on the ice here for this draw. And Sean Couturier, he has to be careful he does not get kicked out.
Actually, I'm thinking about it. Wasn't his right skate that lost the skate protector, or was it his left?
It was his right. I thought, no, it was the left.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the left.
Here is Coburn. For Simmons and then out. On the wall. Wild able to control it. Spurgeon finding it in. Schultz tipping it. Radlin's right there. Schultz not sure where to go. He's surrounded by white jerseys. Did well to find Couturier. Coburn wheeling on and using that great speed. His one hands it into the slot, but Simmons unable to get to it. Pominville the other way, and Giroux knocks that one out of midair, but in a second try, the Wild get it through center. And Grossman takes over. Flyers have their top line out. Here's Voracek wheeling back with it, and here he goes through center. The right wing feed to Giroux. In across the line, lost it, tries to get it back, but Scandella prevented that. Fontaine the other way. Fontaine to the Philadelphia line. He lost it. Good back pressure there from Brayden Schenn. Squirts around to Voracek. Voracek. Blocked by Haula, but goes across ice to Strike. From the red line, air underneath that one as it goes deep to the Minnesota ice. Voracek first to it. Voracek leaned down by Scandella, pops back up, tips to Schenn. Schenn has a look, through Giroux all the way to Strike. He'll wind, fire wide. Voracek to set up in front with the pass. The shot went well wide. And now here is Strike. Gaining the line, firing it. Kepler will glove that, keep it in play. Flyers are changing as we approach the final minute of regulation time. Long pass to Zucker at the Philadelphia line. He could not hang on. McDonald trying to make a move, lost the puck, and Zucker has it now for Minnesota. Back out to the point, Suter. Vanek, back to Suter, quick shot, deflection goes wide. Bounce back, Suter in front, they score! The turnover leads to a goal. Jason Zucker puts the Wild on top with 45 seconds remaining in the third. It's 3-2.
Wild take full advantage of that Flyer turnover by McDonald and go to work in the offensive zone. Craig Berube elects to use his timeout right now, and the Minnesota Wild have reestablished their one-goal lead here. Zucker ends up with the goal. It's a cross-ice pass that finds number 16 on the back door, and he buries it after Suter, the offensive defenseman, jumps up and finds him.
You know, okay, so the turnover happened, I understand, down with McDonald. The defenseman comes in, but somebody's got to pick up number 16 at the far side. That can't happen.
Zucker, California native from Newport Beach, ends a 10-game goalless drought with his 6th goal of the year. The Flyers are down with less than a minute to play in the third.
Let's take a look at our Mazda top shelf performers from tonight's game. Nino Niederreiter picks up his 5th. Scandella his 4th. Kemper's been outstanding. Straight, very good for the Flyers. Giroux had that big power play goal to get things tied up here. Emery 26 saves on 29 shots, but it's all about Zucker, who picks up the go-ahead goal here with 45 seconds left.
Emery at the hash marks. Flyers trying to get control so they can get the goalie to the bench. They could not do that. Now they have it. Strike ahead, Voracek. There goes Emery to the bench. Voracek hoping for Simmons, but he had stumbled. Flyers do keep it in. Couturier, and he could not get it past Spurgeon. 28 seconds remain. Time certainly of the essence here as Schenn. To Couturier, sent it toward the deflection, and it hit Kemper and stayed out. Went off a Wild player and nearly snuck through. Back to get the icing call is Strike.
The right idea, just get everything at the net here, and Couturier just flung the puck towards the Minnesota netminder, and it goes off the stick of Ryan Suter right there. And Kemper does well just to keep that one out. Suter's there to find the rebound and iced it, and the Flyers get this face-off.
14.4 seconds on the clock. Giroux will try to get this back to Strike. Either have the shot option or maybe move it over to Voracek. Blooming, right part of your screen. Lurking would be the better term to use. That was one room. Giroux. Ready is Randlin now in there and taking a while to get this puck dropped by Don Henderson. Finally it's down. Schenn worked the puck free but fired it wide. Couture hooked down. Schenn gets the puck to Voracek. Voracek in front, never made it through. And now it's cleared down the ice by Pominville. That is wide of the net, so icing the call. Just 2 ticks remaining as the whistle blows. We'll see if they add a little more to the clock. The Flyers will get one more offensive zone draw.
Good defensive team, Minnesota. It's not like a guy like Pominville to ice that puck right there. All you do is chip it off the boards. The Flyers still got a life. 2 seconds left.
Assume you have to push this to the net.
It has to go forward. No chance.
Randlin and Giroux. Puck down, did go to the circle, but Suter was right there. Takes it back behind the net, and the Wild come into Philadelphia and spoil the party on Hall of Fame night. Jason Zucker with a goal in the final minute gives Minnesota a 3-2 victory, and only their second ever regulation win in Philadelphia.
Flyers fought back here and got that tying goal, and just a heartbreaking goal with 45 seconds left. The turnovers and a couple of rebound issues in the third period led to 2 Minnesota Wild goals. Kemper outstanding.